Hello, this is a requested video from JY and I'm really excited to do this video. Today, I'm going to go over 20 words from Vocabulary Workshop. Level F, Unit 4. And I will not be necessarily going over the word definitions, but how these words break down and maybe the history or the background behind the words. I find these information really interesting and a lot of times really helpful in explaining to international English as a second language speakers to explain the nuances, the context in which the word was used, and the connotations that really surround these words. Sometimes when you're speaking across cultures, how you learn your English maybe, or Korean or Spanish or French or Japanese, you still end up struggling with the message's intentions, and it sometimes gets really difficult to know all the nuances. So here we go. Let's start with our first word, affable. So the way this word breaks down, it's not exact breakdowns because I really feel that this is one, but this is one as well. So, able, and the root here in the middle comes from this Latin origin or Latin word called fari. And fari really means to speak. This prefix AF usually has a positive, it usually means like towards that definition of the root, like affinity and all these other words, right? So and the other thing I want to say about words that have this like to speak or communication meaning, it has a very positive connotation. The ability to communicate is positive. Affable really means like agreeable, like you can communicate with a person, maybe even like socially positive, like sociable. And a lot of words that have meanings that mean like an inability to speak, or going back with speaking, or an inability to communicate has a negative connotation. So okay, let's go over the next word, which is aggrandize. Guess like the word ag also is positive towards the main meaning, and here is grand. It's a Latin word, like I don't know how to say it, but like maybe grandies, and it means big or large. And then ize is a suffix that says to do something, or verb. So basically this word really means that you're trying to increase or build your power, or the way you look, augment your power. Okay, let's move on to the next word, which is amorphous. A has a negative or I don't want to say connotation, but it means maybe without whatever the next, whatever the core meaning of this word. So morph means like shape. And OUS means adjective. So again, this is, or I guess it also means form. So it means without form or shape. And this is Latin again. We're going to move on to the next word. This word, you can't really break it down. Aura, it has Greek and Latin roots, and it just means air. So you have this air. It could be positive, negative. It's very neutral. Okay, the next word, contraband. So contra means against. And it could be an Italian word. It could also be a Spanish word. And band can mean a lot of different things. Like it could mean like a band of things, I guess, like a group. And in Italian, it could mean like bando, which is like proclamation. Or maybe a band. So yeah, contraband. It doesn't really translate exactly like this when you put it together. Kind of does. It has but it really means like some illegal smuggled goods. Yeah. So let's move on to the next word. Erudite. So this word, okay, well, I don't know. I would just say that this word right here means instruction in Latin. Another way you can break this down, E means without, like same thing as different words like that has the prefix EX. Just the word with the E also has that same meaning of being without whatever root meaning we have. And rude means rude, like untrained. So the opposite of being untrained. And then together it means instruction. And a lot of words with IT, I believe, has it's an adjective, and that's how you would be using this word as an adjective. Gossamer. So I actually really like this word because it has a very funny background or history. So gauze, summer, actually. Oh, sorry. So this comes from the word summer. And gauze comes from the word goose. Who would have known? And then also this word kind of really like reminds me of gauze. I don't know if that's how they came up with that word, but yeah, so like maybe goose down. It's like really fluffy and airy and yeah, and really light and thin. So anything that resembles that, it could be clothing, it could be anything that resembles that would, that's how you would use this word. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next word, which is infer. So, yeah, in is, it's positive, it means into. And it's a Latin root. Fer means to bring. Even like, I believe like ferment has like the same kind of background. So it really just, infer just means like to bring about. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next word, inscrutable. So I know we just said in is a positive, it means into. Here it means not. And yeah. So scrut or scrutari is a Latin word meaning to search, to investigate. And able means able again, right? So something that is hard to investigate. So when you put it together, the way it's used is to explain something that is really difficult to understand, to grasp, to search. Okay, insular. So insula and then AR is like adjective. So anything that describes this thing that I'm about to describe. Insula means island in Latin. Yeah, I could also break it down to like in is into or positive, and then sul is like el sol, sun, like, and that just reminds me of like on its own by itself. So yeah. So anything that pertains to that would be how you'd use this word. Okay, we're gonna move on to our next word. And sometimes I say irrevocable, so yeah. IR means negative. And then revoke, we've heard of this word, right? So yeah, IR not. And revoke means to cancel. Or, voke means like voice. And re means back. You're kind of taking back your word even. Okay. On your promise maybe, or on your statement. So together it means to cancel, and not cancel able, right? So something that you cannot cancel is what this means. Okay, we're going to move on to the next word, propensity. Pro means positive, when we say pros and cons, right? And then, so there's two ways I could explain this also. Itty, I would say, means, I guess it could be a noun, so it's a noun here. But there's two ways. One way is the Latin way, and the other way it's Spanish. I'm kind of fluent in Spanish, and so, I kind of get a lot of connotations from French and Spanish and all these like Romance languages. But anyways, or like, words like pensive and, pensar means to think, right? And when you say think, it kind of reminds me of like mindset, right? So towards a mindset. Another way you could actually explain this word is that it comes from the Latin root pendere. And this is important because I've seen a lot of words that mean like cliff, or hanging, or like inclination, right? And these words have something to do with like a towards a way. But anyways, pendere means like hang. It means like something that's hanging from some I don't know, cliff almost. That's the visual I get. But yeah, I'm actually more comfortable with this breakdown, but yeah, and they both work with many words as well. So let's move on to the next one, querulous or querulous. I say querulous, but okay. OUS is an adjective, and query means, to question or to complain. And it comes from the Latin word query. And this is Latin. So, yeah, put together, it is used to kind of talk about, like when you're like peevish and very complaining, in that kind of cranky mood or cranky disposition. Okay, I actually really like the next word, remonstrate. This can mean again, or it can mean back. And 8, action of. And I think this is a very interesting word because mostrar in Spanish means to show. And it's funny because even in Asia or in Korean, the word to show is to also show like rebellion, right? Or demonstration also comes from of showing, right? DE means of. And then monstration. Yep. Mostrar here, it's the same root, which is to show. And show means like, maybe you're trying to, protest by showing you're against, or like, you go against by showing, making a show of, showcasing something, or yeah. Okay. Repudiate. So this is a really difficult word to break down, just like the word aura. Just because the whole entire word kind of means, it's a Latin word, derives from Latin, and it just means divorce or cast off, like repudium. So I don't really have a consistent way of like annotating these, so I'm using brackets and like arrows and for, I don't know, but yeah. Okay, well, let's move on to the next word. I would say you could break it down, you maybe not for this one as well. ENT, it's an adjective. You could kind of put this together. It means like leaping back in Latin. But I would say sil means jump, and then RE means back. Okay, so we could talk about the next one. Reverberate. So re means back. Verb means talk. And yeah, usually words that have something to do with like talking back, it doesn't really and ate means action of talking back. Yeah, so this has like that connotation of talking back. Yeah. So I'm gonna move on to the next word. Scurrilous. So scura means something that is lowly. In Latin. And ous means adjective. So scurrilous, anything that is lowly and obscene. Sedulous. So the way I break down sedulous is ous, it's an adjective. And a lot of words that have the word said means like sitting, not moving. And that has like a connotation of being stubborn or literally sitting, like a sedentary lifestyle, right? But it also means like stubborn and rebellious even, right? You're like determined when you're stubborn. Another word could be like determined. Persistent in, the way you think, right? What just happened? And then lastly, we have sleazy, which actually this is a very funny word. I keep saying funny and it's not that funny, maybe just funny to me. but it it comes from like the back, like I don't really know how to like break this down, but it comes from this you know, background or like history of like this place in Europe. I believe it's Germany, and I don't know, like hundreds of years ago, and this place called Silesian. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but it Silesia maybe, and it was a famous town for the weaving industry when weaving was a thing. And so I guess it means something like something that pertains to like or something that resembles Silesian cloth, maybe, and Silesian cloth was maybe really thin. Yeah, And another interesting thing about this word is that, like I don't remember ever seeing this word used for women when you're describing people, like sleazy women. I've never heard of that. But I heard of sleazy men. And also when you talk about clothing or cloth, for some reason, like if we were to talk about gender, I don't think I've heard of men's wear as being sleazy, but I've heard of women's wear as being sleazy. But it's supposed to mean like, it could mean something like cheap or shoddy, like material, or it could also mean like corrupt character, and things like that. So it's kind of interesting in like how I've seen it used, like, opposite for when you're describing products. I've seen it used for like female products, and then when you're describing people, I've seen it more often used for males. But I'm not sure if it does have gender. So, and I would imagine this to be, I don't know, maybe neutral in gender, but yeah. Okay, well, it was really fun going over these words, and I really hope it was helpful to a lot of people. It's a fun thing to talk about, have a conversation about. Yeah, and I think this is, I love talking about this with the international community because we always have like, some parts of contract making or partnering or doing work with international people. There is a wall of, like a language barrier, even if that person that you're speaking with sounds quite good. And I think it has something to do with culture embedded in the language that we are born into. And yeah. Okie dokes. Well, hope to do another video soon, and talk to you guys soon. And please subscribe, and if you'd like, and please hit the bell. And I don't know how all of this social media thing works, but I would love to keep in touch with you guys. And